So this was a part of another set that I bought here recently. Japanese first edition Team Rocket. I got this for a fairly well priced negotiation. We had to kind of sit there for a little while. But we finally agreed on something that we would both be happy with. For what this binder actually does seem, it actually seems like it is the first edition, Japanese edition of Team Rocket. Now, she had several other binders that I wasn't able to get my hands on, but she had this here for Team Rocket. But this is, I believe, the English version checklist of the set itself. So when she had it laid out in this binder, you can see that it's Dark Alakazam, Dark Arbok, Dark Blastoise, and so forth, but it's the English version. But I've already sleeved these up over here, and they already came out of the two sleeves that I've already went through. I thought that it might be actually pretty good on me to go ahead and document kind of the process of where I was going with this. So with that being said, again, she had this checklist, I believe for the English version of the first edition Team Rocket, but this is the Japanese as she has it listed. And as you see, each card that I actually just got done sleeving up, penny sleeving, and then also top loading, actually coincides with the English version, at least that's what she had. And she had multiple copies in each sleeve. So as you see, Dark Arbok, well, there's the Dark Arbok first edition Japanese Team Rocket, and she had multiples just like the Dark Alakazam. So we're going over to the Dark Blastoise again. I've already penny sleeved and top loaded all this. Most of the holo rares that she had in this binder. And to the best of my knowledge, she's had this binder and she's been collecting cards over 20 years. Now, if I slide up these Dark Alakazams, which was #1 in the English Team Rocket first edition set, they don't coincide with the Japanese first edition Team Rocket set, but as you can see, Dark Charizard, Dark Charizard, Dark Charizard, Dark Charizard. And they're all holographic rares, and they're in very good, unplayed condition. This lady was actually collecting them 20 years ago and never played the game itself. Sorry for my shaky hands, but as you can see, the cards are in really good shape. I mean, these cards are from '96, as it's very clearly said by Nintendo on the back. And I actually showed only 3 copies, but there's actually 4 copies here of the Dark Charizard first edition Team Rocket set, Japanese edition. So I'm trying to break this set down. I'm trying to decide if I need to sell part of it to recoup some of the money that me and her actually agreed upon. And then there again, the collecting genome, it wants to break its little head through and say, keep all of it. They're going to only go up in price, which they will. This is a very established set. It's very high desirable. It has a high desirability amongst collectors and kind of newer Pokemon enthusiasts, I feel like, as well, because when people hear about Team Rocket, well, they think about the older set, at least if they do a little bit of study and everything else. But these cards are in immaculate condition, and I feel very blessed to have acquired this binder, even though it is in Japanese. If people don't know the history behind this, how can someone collecting 20 years ago acquire a Japanese set? Well, just like we are, unfortunately, we've been exposed to over this COVID season and everything else. As most Pokemon collectors know, old aforementioned, and then also the new collectors as well, the stock is just not there. And unfortunately, when it became very popular in the United States during its startup and everything else, they actually started running low on supply. So they actually had supply come in from Japan. So that's basically, you know, the kind of shortcut or the short end of the story. How did Japanese product wind up in a old collection that no one ever actually strove to get a Japanese collection? Well, that's it. We had a supply and demand overshoot 20 years ago, just like we're being faced with today. So again, I'm going to go ahead and break the rest of this binder down and treat it very carefully. She didn't treat it very carefully. I mean, you know, she collected it, and, you know, 20 years ago, that's how people collected. You know, unfortunately, just throw everything in a binder, and you thought that a binder would keep all your product sealed and safe from dust, you know, wear and tear and everything else. But unfortunately, that's not the case, and we all know that nowadays. But thank you very much for watching, and please tune in to my next video.